Hello, so today we'll be talking about the excretory system and its mechanism. In this, we'll talk about the excretory system, the different types of excretory organs that is present in different organisms, right? So, we'll talk about that and we'll talk about the kidneys, the stomata, the lenticels, then the excretory system that is present in our rats, which is a mammal, right? So, basically, we'll start with the definition of excretory system, right? So, moving on to the next slide. Okay, so what is the definition of excretory system? Basically involves the excretory system consists of organs which remove metabolic wastes and toxins from the body. Okay, a lot of metabolic wastes are produced when we eat. When the food gets digested, a lot of wastes are produced which our body does not need. Okay, so these wastes, they get excreted, these wastes get expelled out of our body. So that is what the excretory system basically does. And another thing it can do, the removal of toxins from the body. Okay, so a lot of toxins are also produced, so these are also removed. So this is the basic function of the excretory system. Okay, now what happens in humans? In humans, this includes the removal of urea, okay, from the bloodstream and other wastes from the body. So urea is removed in humans. Okay, the removal of urea happens in the kidneys, while solid wastes are expelled from the large intestine. Kidney removes the urea that is produced, that is present in the bloodstream, is removed by the kidneys, while solid wastes, they are expelled from the large intestine. Okay, and now humans are vertebrates, right? So we'll talk about invertebrates. Okay, so in aquatic invertebrates, what happens? Aquatic invertebrates excrete ammonia by diffusion through the surface of their bodies. So diffusion removes the ammonia from the aquatic invertebrates through the surface of their body. And in terrestrial invertebrates, how it is removed? First, this ammonia is converted to uric acid, which is then disposed. So I have given 3 examples in this slide. In the humans, which is a vertebrate, removal of urea takes place through the kidneys and solid wastes are expelled from the large intestine. Second one is the aquatic invertebrates, which excrete ammonia by diffusion through the surface of their bodies. And third example is the terrestrial invertebrates. They first convert this ammonia into uric acid, which is then disposed of. Okay, so now let's move on to the next slide, continuing with the definition. Okay, so in what happens in unicellular organisms, let's see. In unicellular organisms, the process of excretion occurs through diffusion. You saw in aquatic invertebrates also diffusion takes place, right? So in unicellular organisms also, this process of excretion occurs through diffusion. Simple diffusion occurs when a substance moves from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So simple diffusion is a very simple process, right? A particular substance, if it is present in high concentration in a particular area, it will very easily move to a place with very low concentration of that particular substance. Okay, so that is simple diffusion. So in unicellular organism, this is the way by which excretion occurs. And in some invertebrates, contractile vacuoles help in the process of excretion. This is another type of excretion process. Organisms like flatworms possess defined excretory structures called protonephridia. Okay, these protonephridia in flatworms, they help in excretion. And in annelids like earthworms, leeches, lugworms and bristleworms, waste is expelled through the structures called metanephridia. Okay, they are highly coiled tubes that have opening at both of their ends. See, in this picture I have given a structure of this metanephridia. Okay, so see, these are the tubules. These are the tubules. Okay, and the metanephridia filter coelomic fluid through the nephrosomes, and a dilute urine is expelled via the nephridophores. Okay, so this is the metanephridia in annelids. And They are highly coiled tubes. The metanephridae are highly coiled. They have opening at both their ends, and the internal opening, nephrotostome, lies in the body cavity, and the external opening, nephridae 4, opens outside on the skin. Okay, so these are the basic examples and the definition I have covered. Now let's move to the next slide. Kidney. Okay, first we'll talk about the kidney. That is, basically kidney is found in all vertebrates. Okay, like humans, like rats, will find the kidney. Okay, so we'll in detail we'll study about the basic structure, the basic functions, what it does. We'll all study about the kidney. Okay, so the first line says all vertebrates have a kidney as their excretory organ, right? And kidney of vertebrates developed from an axial mesodermic tissue. You need to remember this. In kidney, what in vertebrates, from where the kidney developed, you need to remember this. Okay, from an axial mesodermic tissue termed nephrogenous tissue or nephrotome. Okay, this axial mesodermic tissue is also termed as nephrogenous tissue or the nephrotome. Now coming to the shape and the position. Basically the shape and the position is actually in the humans where it is positioned. Okay, so basically the shape is paired bean shaped. Paired means there are two kidneys, bean shaped, reddish kidneys located just above the waist between the peritoneum and the posterior wall of the abdomen. Okay, this is the exact position of the kidney. See in this diagram you can see there is a right kidney, there is a left kidney, paired kidneys. Okay, and you can see the arteries, right renal artery, left renal artery, and the urinary bladder you can see, the urethra you can see. So these are all the organs involved in the excretory system. Okay, so now let's move on to the structure and of the kidney. Okay, so we'll do the structure now. So first is the external anatomy. Each kidney is embedded in a mass of adipose tissue called the renal fat, and 3 layers of tissue surround each kidney. So each kidney, that is there are two kidneys I told you, right kidney and left kidney. So each kidney is embedded in a mass of adipose tissue called renal fat, and the 3 layers of the tissue surround each kidney. First layer is the renal capsule. The renal capsule, see in this diagram, renal capsule is there. This is the renal capsule. Okay, what is the renal capsule? It is a deep layer of kidney which is smooth, a transparent sheet of dense irregular connective tissue that is continuous with the outer coat of ureter. So it is very transparent sheet and irregular connective tissue made up of, and that is continues with the outer coat of the ureter. It continues with the outer coat of the ureter. And what is the function of this renal capsule? It serves as a barrier against trauma and maintain the shape of the kidney. So if there is any trauma to the kidney, if there is any harm to the kidney, if we fall down, then it prevents any harm that can happen to the kidney. Okay, it acts as a barrier. Okay, and it also maintains the shape. So these are the functions of the renal capsule. Second layer is the adipose capsule. See in this diagram again, the adipose capsule is also marked, right? So what is the adipose capsule? The middle layer. First is renal capsule, deep layer, then the middle layer, adipose capsule, which is a mass of fatty tissue. Okay, surrounding the renal capsule. What is the function? It also protects the kidney from trauma and hold it firmly in a place within the abdominal cavity. It helps to hold the kidney in place. Okay, and the third and the last layer is the renal fascia. Okay, see here the renal fascia, you can see right in the diagram, it's very clear. What is the renal fascia? It is the superficial layer, which is another thin layer of dense irregular connective tissue. Adipose capsule and the renal capsule. Renal capsule is also a dense irregular connective tissue made up of, and this is renal fascia is also another thin layer of dense irregular connective tissue. And what is the function of this again? This layer anchors the kidney to the surrounding structure and to the abdominal wall. Okay, so this is the external anatomy of the kidney. First is where is the kidney embedded? In the adipose tissue, in a mass of adipose tissue called renal fat. Then what are the three layers that surround the kidney? First one is the renal capsule, then is the adipose capsule and the renal fascia. Renal capsule and adipose capsule basically help the kidney, protect the kidney from any trauma, and the renal fascia, it anchors the kidney to the surrounding structure and to the abdominal wall. It helps to hold the kidney in position. Okay, so now let's see the internal anatomy. Okay, so what is the internal anatomy of the kidney? Internal anatomy, a frontal section through the kidney reveals two distinct regions. Okay, so one region is the superficial light red region called the renal cortex, and a deep darker reddish brown inner region called the renal medulla. So basically, if you see this structure, you can see that there is a frontal cross section, that is a cross sectional area of this kidney reveals that there is one light red region, this renal cortex, and the inner region, that is the renal medulla. Just see where I am showing you, this pyramid type structure is the renal medulla, and the light region outside this region is renal cortex. See, in this diagram it is marked also, this is the renal cortex and this is the renal medulla. This is renal medulla and this is the renal cortex. Okay, now what is the renal medulla? Okay, renal medulla consists of the renal pyramids. The renal medulla consists of several cone-shaped structures called the renal pyramids. In this diagram, it is very clear. These are the pyramid type structures which are present in the renal medulla, and they are known as the renal pyramids. Okay, and what is renal papillae? The base of each pyramid faces its apex, that is narrower end is called the renal papillae. See, if this is the pyramid type structure, the tip, the base of the structure is very narrow, right? This is known as the renal papillae. Okay, and it points towards the renal hilum, renal papillae. See, in this structure you can see the bracketed portion is the renal hilum. Okay, so the renal papillae, they point towards this hilum. Okay, and the renal hilum expands into a cavity within the kidney called the renal sinus. This renal hilum expands into the cavity called the renal sinus. See here, you can see the renal sinus. This is the renal sinus, and the renal papillae and the renal hilum, it expands into this renal sinus. Okay, so this is the basic internal anatomy of the kidney. We saw the internal anatomy and we saw the external anatomy, right? So moving on. Okay, now we'll see the renal cortex. I told you, right, that there are two layers. One is the renal cortex. In this you saw there is the renal cortex, the light reded region, and the renal medulla is the deep reded darker region, that is deep seated, that is the pyramids. So now we'll first go through renal cortex and then we'll go through renal medulla. So let's see what is renal cortex now. Okay, so basically renal cortex is smooth textured area extending from the renal capsule to the base of the renal pyramids and into the space between them. Again I'll move back to the previous slide, okay, to show you. See, this is the renal cortex, right, and in between the pyramids also the renal cortex is present, right? So that is what is told in the next slide. Okay, so just see this diagram very nicely so you'll understand. See, the deep region is the renal medulla and the region outside is the renal cortex, which is light reded, and it is in between the renal pyramids. The area is also the renal cortex. See, renal cortex is the smooth textured area extending from the renal capsule to the base of the renal pyramids and into the space between them. Okay, so renal cortex is again divided into two regions, that is the outer cortical zone and the inner juxtamedullary zone. What is this juxtamedullary? We'll come across this word, I'll explain it to you. Just right now you remember it, the renal cortex is divided into two parts. One is the outer cortical zone and the other one is the inner juxtamedullary zone. Okay, Now, what are the renal columns? This renal cortex only consists of renal columns and the parenchyma. So, renal columns is the portion of the renal cortex that extends between the renal pyramids and known as the renal column. So, the renal cortex that extends in between the pyramids, in the region between the pyramids, is the renal column. I will move back to the previous slide and show you once again. This area is the renal column. See, here it is marked renal column. So, that is the renal column. Okay. Now, the next one is the parenchyma. Okay. Parenchyma is the renal cortex and renal pyramids of the medulla constitute the parenchyma. So, the renal pyramids and the renal cortex together is known as the parenchyma, and it is the functional portion of the kidney. Why this is the functional portion of the kidney? Because within the parenchyma are the functional unit of kidney, which is known as the nephron. This nephron thing is very important. You need to understand the different structures present inside the nephron. Okay, so this nephron is basically the functional unit of this kidney, and the parenchyma contains this, and the parenchyma constitutes the renal cortex and the renal pyramids. We'll get to know about this nephron in the upcoming slides. Okay. Now let's move on to the next slide. Okay, after this what it comes. Okay, so now we'll see the structure of the neuron, what the neuron consists of. Okay, so the neuron consists of the renal corpuscle and the renal tubule. I'll show you a diagram and it will be very clear to you after I show you the diagram. So just for now, just see what it consists of. Okay, so renal corpuscle and the renal tubule. Renal corpuscle consists of the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule, and the renal tubule consists of the primary convoluted tubule and the distal convoluted tubule and the loop of Henle. So renal corpuscle consists of glomerulus and Bowman's capsule, and the renal tubule consists of the PCT, DCT and the loop of Henle. So this is the basic structure of the nephron, and now I'll show you the diagram. Okay, so let's move on. Here, see, this is the kidney, the diagram I showed you in previous slides. This is the kidney, this is the renal cortex and renal medulla, renal papillae. Okay, so see, here you can see the nephron. Okay, this yellow thing, it's the nephron, and it has been magnified and given, right? See, this is the proximal convoluted tubule, and then there is the distal convoluted tubule under the renal tubule, and the loop of Henle, nephron loop. Descending limb, this is the descending, it's coming down, that is why it is the descending limb. Then this is the ascending limb. Okay, and this is the red corpuscle, renal corpuscle. Okay, the glomerular capsule, the capillaries and the Bowman's capsule. This one is the Bowman's capsule. It is not marked here, but in the upcoming slides you will see. Okay, so this is the basic structure of the nephron. So just once more, you just think about what is nephron, what are the structures under the nephron and what they consist of, and just see this diagram. I'll just give you 1 minute. Okay. I hope you have understood, you have seen, you have gone to the previous slide and you have seen it. Okay, so now let's move on with the structure of the kidney, and now we'll do the renal corpuscle. Okay, so the renal corpuscle and the renal tubule. First we'll see what the renal corpuscle is. So renal corpuscle is where the blood is filtered. Blood is filtered, right? The blood is filtered and the waste is eliminated in the form of urine. So this is where the blood is filtered. First, the renal corpuscle consists of the Bowman's capsule. Okay, so what is the Bowman's capsule? I have shown you, right? I told you what is the Bowman's capsule. It is not marked here, but this thing is the Bowman's capsule, and this is the glomerulus. Okay, so here, right, see that glomerular capsule is only the Bowman's capsule. Okay, sorry, I told you that Bowman's capsule is not mentioned. Actually, glomerular capsule is only the Bowman's capsule, and this is the glomerulus. So Bowman's capsule, renal corpuscle consists of, and it is what is the Bowman's capsule? Now we'll see. Let's see. It is a round funnel-like structure surrounding the glomerulus, right? It is surrounding the glomerulus. You saw. Now it consists of two cell layers, okay, the visceral layer and the parietal layer. Okay, it consists of the visceral and the parietal layer. Okay, so what is the visceral layer? The inner layer surrounding the glomerulus is the visceral layer. Okay, this layer is made up of single layer of cells called podocytes, outgrowth of which is known as pedicels. I'll show you what are podocytes and what are pedicels. Okay, let's do one thing. We'll just read through and I'll make you understand through the diagram. It is in the next slide. Okay, so I'll show you the visceral layer. Okay, see, this is the visceral layer. The podocyte, this is the podocyte, and these are the pedicels. The foot-like structures you see, these are the pedicels, and this is the podocyte cell body. So this is the visceral layer of the glomerular capsule. Okay, so now you understand what is the visceral layer, inner layer of the glomerulus, and this layer is made up of a single layer of cells called the podocytes, outgrowth of which the foot-like structures you saw, those are the pedicels. Okay, through pedicels, podocytes joined with each other to form a net-like structure and leads to produce many intercellular spaces called the filtering slits, which helps in filtration process. Let's see this. Okay, so see this podocytes, they join these pedicels. You see there are a lot of podocytes. It is magnified image and only one podocyte is shown. They join, and this pedicels, they form filtration membrane or the filtration slits. See the pore type structures, filtration membrane, that is through which the filtration takes place. Okay, this filtration slit, see it is marked pedicel, filtration slit, and the podocyte cell body, right? And this is the capillary lumen and the glomerular capillary. Okay, and now let's see what is the parietal layer. Okay, it is the outer layer, and this layer becomes narrow towards the posterior side and joins with the renal tubule. This end of the Bowman's capsule is known as the tubular pole. I'll show you this one also. Let's see the parietal layer. Okay, first see here in this diagram you will see the parietal layer. This outer layer is the parietal layer, and here see it has become narrow, right, and forms the tubular pole. This narrow it becomes, so that is what is said in this slide, that it is the outer layer and this layer becomes narrow towards the posterior and joins with the renal tubule. This end of the Bowman's capsule is known as the tubular pole. Now what is the function of the Bowman's capsule? Bowman's capsule is basically, what it does is it collects the glomerular filtrate and it passes it to the renal tubule. Glomerular filtrate passes into the Bowman's capsule and it is then passed on into the renal tubule where further filtration occurs. Okay, so under high pressure from the glomerulus, the filtrate passes into the Bowman's capsule and then it passes into the renal tubule. It will be more clear to you in the upcoming slides. Okay, so you are clear with this diagram, right? It's not very difficult to understand. Once again I'll tell you this. So the visceral layer is of the glomerular capsule. It consists of the pedicels, the filtration slits, and the podocyte cell body. So this is the podocyte cell body. It is a magnified image, so you can see only one podocyte cell body. There are a lot of podocyte cell bodies. Okay, and these are the outgrowths, the pedicels, and in between them is these are the filtration slits, and there is the filtration membrane. Okay, so just see the structures. Okay, the endothelium of the fenestrated capillarium. Fenestrated matlab, it means that it is, there are holes in this membrane, so that is why it is the fenestrated capillary. And the basement membrane of the capillary, it is then there is the filtration slits of the visceral layer. Okay, so this is the diagram. Okay, so now then there is the glomerulus in the next slide. Okay, so from the next slide we'll do it in the next PPT. Okay, so let's end this here. In the next video I'll tell you about the glomerulus. We'll complete with the kidney. We'll move on into the stomata, lenticels, and we need to know about the excretory system in rats. Okay, so we need to know that. So thank you.